Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Hescox, you guys are my 7A class. This is Chapter 3, Section 5. We just finished talking about chromosomes and genes, and your warm-up question today, how many chromosomes do you have in your body cells? The correct answer, 46. 23 in gametes, but 46 in body cells. Today we're going to start talking about dominant and recessive traits, and what makes something dominant or recessive. Dominant and recessive play a huge role in why organisms are different from their parents. So Mendel determined that we need 2 copies of everything that he called inheritance factors. We later found out that those were genes. If you have 2 copies of the same allele for a gene, we call that homozygous. So homozygous could be capital T, little t, capital B, capital B. He also found that this is called pure, or we call it homozygous. The prefix homozygous, H-O-M-O, means that they're the same. If an organism had different genes, he called this heterozygous. And heterozygous would be like capital T, lower t, capital B, lowercase b, capital W, little w. These were heterozygous because hetero means that they're different. Let's take a look at Mendel's famous pea plant cross. All right, so he took pea plants. They were homozygous tall. And he crossed them with homozygous short. And what he found, this is called the P generation. In this F1 generation, all of the offspring were capital T, lowercase t, capital T, lowercase t. These were all dominant because capital T is dominant. They were all tall, except they're not homozygous anymore. This is a little hard to see. These are heterozygous. And they're heterozygous because they're different. You have a capital T and a lowercase t. So when he bred capital T, lowercase t's together, what he got was this F2 generation. You got some that had 2 talls, and you have some that got a tall and a short, or a tall and a short. So we end up with 2 heterozygotes. And then he also found these ones that came back. So these were tall, tall, and then short ones, which disappeared, came back. And the short was recessive. Recessive means to hide. In fact, Mendel found out that most of the time you have a 3 to 1 ratio dominant to short, or dominant to recessive. So I thought this was just a funny little joke. How does this picture relate to what we just talked about? Well, these are heterozygotes. Well, heterozygous means that you have two different alleles. This one's for a black goat, this is for a white goat, so you got a black and a white, so they are heterozygotes. Some genes will cover over other genes when they are in a heterozygous, or what we call a hybrid. Those are dominant. Dominant are stronger. They're going to overpower the recessive gene. Recessive is weak. It only shows up when there are two recessives there. Some examples of dominant genes: dark hair, black hair, brown eyes, being right-handed, all dominant. Recessive genes: blonde, red hair. Recessive can be being left-handed, having blue eyes. Those are all recessive. In plants, being short in pea plants is a recessive gene. Alright, so we'll watch this video, but remember, when we talk about dominant and recessive, dominant only needs one copy to be expressed, recessive needs two. Mendel's famous experiment had tall pea plants being dominant, and by the time of the second generation was drew out, you had 3 dominants to 1 short, the short being the recessive, which wasn't hidden anymore. Alright guys, make sure you get your work done. Make sure you come back, watch these videos as many times as you need. I'm Mr. Hescox. Have a great day. See you soon.